Hello and welcome to On a Darker Note. In today's episode we will be looking at a brief history of witches. But before we get into it, if you like true crime or the creepier side of history, give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Witches have been portrayed all throughout history, with the earliest mention of a witch thought to be in the Bible in the book of 1 Samuel, written between 931 BC and 721 BC. King Saul sought the witch of Endor to summon the spirit of the dead prophet Samuel in order to help him defeat the Philistine army. Originally, witches were thought to be people using spells and calling on spirits, mostly pagan and said to be working for the devil. However, most were just natural healers who were misunderstood by the norm. Hysteria of witches really began in the mid-1400s in Europe, where people thought to be witches would be tortured until they confessed. Witch hunts were very popular, and those accused would be hanged or burnt at the stake. The main victims were women, often those who were single, widowed, or just considered weird to the general populace. Forms of torture included dunking the woman into water. If she floated, she was a witch. If she drowned, she wasn't, but it was too late. Either way, she would die. Warts were also thought to be a mark of the devil, signifying a witch, and black cats were associated with the devil, meaning a woman who owned one must be a witch. In 1486, German writers Heinrich Kramer and Jacob Sprenger wrote the Malleus Maleficarum, a guide on how to spot, hunt, and torture a witch. Protestants and Catholics alike followed this book, and it sold more copies than any other book barring the Bible for the next 100 years. By the 1600s, witch hysteria had travelled overseas to America, where in 1692 the horrific Salem witch trials took place. 9-year-old Elizabeth Parris and 11-year-old Abigail Williams began suffering from fits, body contortions, and screaming. More women began experiencing these symptoms, and while we now believe they suffered of fungus poisoning, the only logical explanation in 1692 was witchcraft. 3 women were accused: Sarah Good, Sarah Osborne, and Tituba, an enslaved woman of Elizabeth's family. She admitted to practicing black magic and soon began others of practicing it too. Bridget Bishop was the first accused to be put to death on the 10th of June by hanging. Overall, 150 women were accused, with 18 being put to death, along with 6 men. Connecticut also held witch trials, with 11 being killed out of 46 accused. But in Virginia, a law was passed making it illegal to falsely accuse someone of being a witch. A few years before the Salem witch trials in 1612, 12 women living on Pendle Hill, Lancashire in England, were accused of being witches. Elizabeth Demdike had been considered a witch in the area for 50 years. The trials began on the 27th of July 1612, with the first hanging taking place on the 29th of July. They ran through until the August, with 10 being killed. By the 1700s, the hysteria died down after Benjamin Franklin published an article highlighting how ridiculous the trials were. Laws were soon passed to help those who were wrongly accused. To this day, many people of any gender still practice witchcraft, although in some countries people are still persecuted for it. Cameroon is among many African countries to have re-established witch hunts, along with 1,000 people being abducted in Gambia by so-called witch doctors. Witch hunting is a popular practice in Africa, which perhaps will need a video of its own, so please let me know if this is something you would like to see. In India, it is common to accuse a woman of being a witch to steal her land or punish her. And in Papua New Guinea, white magic is legal, but practicing black magic can land you up to 2 years in prison. Let me know down in the comments what you think of this video, and I'll see you in the next one.